Go on then, your turn.
I got 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
1, 2. I got another one home.
Excellent. All right, then you're going to win this one again, aren't you? Right, my turn. Get me sticks. I got 1, 2, 3, which is great. I'm going to move that one along. 1, 2, 3. Your turn. You're going to get this unless you get a 0.
1, 2. I win again, Dad. I beat you.
Typical. All right. Fair enough. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. Look, I've got to speak to these people about how to play this wonderful game that we've been learning, okay? Would you mind going off to see your mummy? Sorry, off you go, off you go. Oh, hang on, I might, later on, I might just pick your brains about something else, okay? Off you go. Bye-bye, see ya. Hello again, folks, and welcome back. It's That History Bloke, Richard here again. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who watched our last video, which is about how to play a Roman game called Rota. If you want to find out how to play that, then just search on YouTube for That History Bloke Rota, and the video will come up. Clearly today we'll move to ancient Egypt, hence all the absolutely terrible jokes that you have to make if you're ever learning about ancient Egypt. We're going to be teaching another game today. Before we do that, I'd just like to say, first of all, apart from the thank you for watching the video, I'd like to apologise for the sound on the last video. I realised it was far too quiet. After trying many technological ways to try and solve this problem, at the moment I can't go out and find equipment and things because obviously we're involved in a bit of a lockdown. So I've decided to try the next best thing, which is speaking a bit louder and moving closer to the camera. There you go, that's all I can do at the minute, folks. Unless anybody's got any tips, in which case feel free to email me. My email address, by the way, is going to be in the comments underneath. For now, I'm just going to introduce you to this game. It's a wonderful game. It's called The Royal Game of and it's also got another name, which is a slightly less interesting one, The Game of 20 Squares. Indeed, it is a game with 20 squares in it. I realise the board looks more complicated than the one for Rota, but rest assured, by the end of this, you'll know how to make your own board, or you'll be able to download a copy of my board to print out at home or to reproduce at home. It's a brilliant game. It's been going for actually even longer ago than what we normally call ancient Egyptian times. The oldest board that we know of is 4,500 years old, which is about how old I feel after a week stuck indoors with my children. But do you know what? It's a fabulous game. Anybody can play it, and it's a chase game. The oldest board, as I said, 4,500 years old, but they actually found 4 copies of this board, pretty much exactly like this one, in the tomb of Tutankhamun. So although it wasn't originally an ancient Egyptian game, it was certainly being played in ancient Egyptian times. So what follows is a brief how to play the game, and then after that, I'll tell you how to make it as well. So, this is everything you need for the Royal Game of First of all, you need a game board, obviously. You can either make your own, and it's quite simple. There are 8 squares up the middle, there's 4 squares down this side, 4 squares down this side, and at this end, another 2 squares there, and another 2 squares there, which is why it's also called the Game of 20 Squares. If you wish to, you can send me an email and I will happily send you a PDF version of the one I've got there, which will save you having to make your own. But if you fancy making your own, I can show you how to do that quite easily at the end of this video. Other things you'll need. You need 4 counters of one colour and 4 counters of another colour. We're using coloured pebbles here, so we've got green versus black. You could also use buttons, you could also use coins, you could use different coloured stones you find in your garden. It's up to you really what you want to use. You can even use counters from a different game. And lastly, you're going to need a way of moving. Now you can use a dice. I prefer using these though, and it's more similar to what they originally used. The version in the British Museum of this game actually has some dice that are made of stone that have one side coloured and one side not. Well, I've replicated that here using 5 lollipop sticks. So I've coloured one side of each of the lollipop sticks and left the other side blank. Now if you don't have lollipop sticks, by the way, that's no problem at all. Simply take a cardboard box like this one here, coloured on one side, blank obviously on the inside, and then cut out strips of card rather, and you can use them in exactly the same way as you would use the the sticks. Now, the way it works is this: when you hold them, you drop the sticks down and they disperse, and you simply look at the number of coloured sides that are up. So I've scored 1, 2, 3, 4 at this point, and we've got one blank one there. It is possible, of course, for you to score in this using this setup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it is also possible for you to score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blanks, which means your total score would be 0 on that account. If you're using a dice to play this game, simply use a normal 6-sided dice, but call the number 6 actually 0. I'm going to turn all these back over again. Now, the game is this. You have to move your pieces, the number that you've rolled using the gaming sticks, and you move them along the board. Greens will be going along here, starting off at the safe haven, from the start position here, 1, 2, 3, 4. When they're at number 5, this strip here, this is known as the conflict zone, because both black and green can use this. If the green stays there and black manages to roll something that gets them to land on the green, then the green gets sent all the way back home. That's why it's called the conflict zone. That's where, unfortunately, some of the battles happen. Now, I'm going to play a quick demonstration game with Francesca. Before I do so, you might have noticed that 5 of the 20 places have a different design on. These on the original are called rosettes because they're in a rose shape. And the idea is, if you land on one of those, you get to roll again. This one in the middle is quite an important one. That is a safe haven. On that one, if you occupy that space, if anybody tries to land on you, well, they're not allowed to. You're in safety if you land there. Okay? Francesca, would you like to be black or green?
Black.
There you go. I'll let you go first. There you go. So how much have you scored there?
3.
You scored 3, so move on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Excellent. I'll bring mine off to one side so it can land on the board. I've got 1, 2, 3 myself. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Your turn. Again, you've got 3 in a row. Now you can't move, before you do it, you can't actually move the second one at this point because 1, 2, 3 would land on that, and two pieces can't occupy the same space. So you must move that one.
2, 3.
Well done. Now you're in the conflict zone. If I land on you, you get sent back. I've got 4 this time. Now I think I'm going to move this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I've landed on that rosette, I get to roll again. And this time I've got 3. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm sorry, Francesca. You get sent all the way back to the start with that one. Your turn. We're just going to play the first one to get 1 back, by the way. You got 2.
1, 2.
Excellent. I'm going to take the sticks again. I normally find with the sticks, it's best to hold them in your fist like this and then just let go of it like that. And it means you get a more random amount. I've got 3 again. I'm going to go for 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to get that one back because we're playing the first one. You've got 2 this time.
1, 2.
Which means you get to roll again. You've got 4 this time.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my goodness, you're going to leapfrog me. I knew you'd do this. You always end up winning.
3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Again, I'll just take these sticks off the board so we can see the board more clearly. Okay. There we go. I've got 3 again. 3 is the most common one. 1, 2, 3. Your turn. 2 this time.
1, 2.
Okay. And I've got 4. 1, 2, 3. See, I've won that game now because that one's arrived home. Remember, folks, though, you have to get all 4 back, and you can have a number of them released at the same time. So, for example, Francesca might have had 1 there and 1 there. I might have had 1 there and 1 there. And the idea is if, for example, I rolled here a 1, I'd have landed on her, she'd been sent all the way back down there. The first one, as I said, is the one to get all 4 back home. I think that just about explains the game. If anybody has any questions, of course, they can feel free to email me. Now I'm going to show you a really simple way about how you can make this at home. So that's how you play the game. And just to remind you, as I said, you can email me for a copy of this. I'll happily send you one, no problem at all. The email address will appear at the bottom of this YouTube video, but it's basically contact@historybloke@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to send you one of these. But if you want to make one yourself, you can't wait, or you've got no printer at home, that's absolutely fine. A pad of post-it notes would work absolutely fine for the squares, as would if you just want to draw it freehand. Each square on that board is 3 centimetres, so you need 8 3 centimetre squares down the middle, then 4 3cm squares down that side, 4 down that side, 2 down that side, 2 down that side, and then you just need to decorate them with the rosettes. If you want them to do it, post-it notes. You need a slightly bigger area, obviously, because that's more than 3 centimetres. But look, I find it dead simple. Just peel them off because they're squares already. So now 1, 2, 3, 4. I think my post-it notes are fairly low quality, so you can probably get better ones than this. 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's the full length of the board. And then we just need to add the extra post-it notes. The 4 down this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and another 4 down here. You see, I might be teaching history mainly, but I can do the maths as well when necessary. There we go. And then finally, don't forget you need the 2 on this end. And that's for when you're going home. You start on the end with the 4. There we go. And then you just need a pen. And if you want to put a big X through there, big X through there. Okay, there 2 of the rosettes. We also have another big X through there. That's another one of the rosettes. And of course, got the 2 just before the homes as well. And there you go. That's your board game. Dead simple, really. And as I said, you can make the gaming sticks out of bits of card, and you can use pretty much anything for the counters. I hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to like it and subscribe to that History Bloke as well to find out what's happening. And apparently there's a dinging bell you can press as well, which does something amazingly technological, which I just don't understand. But my daughter tells me it's very, very important. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this game. More will be following. I've got a nice simple one which the Vikings used to play. I've got a nice way to play with some Victorian animated toys as well. So the world is our oyster. I hope to see more of you in the coming few weeks. Thank you very much, everyone.